What's up, you guys? Sean Ross at Fightful.com. We got a busy week. We had NXT TakeOver, UFC 258. Of course, there's always Raw, SmackDown, NXT, AEW, all that good stuff. But this Sunday, we have WWE Elimination Chamber. And as is tradition, a few days before the show, we come along and make our predictions. But we're joined by a friend of Fightful. You can see her on the Wrestling Inc. podcast. We've got her nice link tree down there at the bottom. You guys can go check out all of her stuff. We got Demon Diva. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am wonderful. It's been a while since you've been on here. I had you on a members-only show, I want to say a couple years back, and you wrote an article for us about the Anthem Owl once upon a time.
I'm ready to write an article about Bad Bunny if you need me to.
You know what? Bad Bunny is pretty good business these days, so
I'm just saying.
Might need you to. But we got Elimination Chamber coming up. Are you excited for it?
Of course I am. Roman Reigns is on top of the world, so everything's good in my end.
So you're expecting him to lose within like 3 or 4 seconds?
If I have it my way, I have Jey Uso win the Chamber and then lay down for Roman. That's what I would do.
Gosh. Well, Lacey Evans will not be. Well, she
laid down for someone.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. She is not going to be facing Asuka by the sounds of it. That match was planned for the Raw Women's Championship. I'll have some more on that on FightfulSelect.com in the coming days. But do you think anybody's going to replace Asuka or replace Lacey Evans, or do you think they're just going to go without the match?
First of all, I want to thank Lacey Evans' unborn child for taking us out of this misery. And I hope somebody does, you know. I don't know who. I would love for them to just press the panic button and call Rhea Ripley already.
Yeah. That was my first reaction. Well, my first reaction was, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen.
Right.
But then I was like, oh, no title match. Great. That means no program. That means WWE might have their hand forced into doing something interesting instead. I hope so. If they want to keep her as an on-screen character, whatever. I don't care. But I'm hoping that in WWE's usual fashion, they're like, okay, well, if somebody can't make it, we try to over-deliver. And over-delivering would be Rhea Ripley, I think.
The problem is that we still have Fastlane, and I would love to see Ripley in a WrestleMania match. So maybe we just get a little bit of a filler here or there in between.
By the way, guys, get in your super chats if you want your question or statement read on the air, and please leave us a thumbs up. Somebody mentions Taya Valkyrie. I think that'd be a good way to introduce her. If she had if John Morrison brought her out and she had like a 10, 15-minute match with Asuka, she probably is not going to win it, but I could think of worse ways to introduce her.
I agree, but the problem is that when you introduce someone in the title picture, if they're not going to win, it kind of hurts the character. It happened to Carmella.
Sure. We got the United States Championship, Bobby Lashley taking on Riddle and Keith Lee. I mean, love Riddle. He did a show for us in the past, but the way that they heated him up for this was to get his foot stomped, lose to Keith Lee, and get beat up by Lashley 3 weeks in a row. He won last night. That's cool, but that was very odd. As I look at things, I'm like, man, who do they have that's going to be heated up enough to face Drew McIntyre? And I'm like, maybe Lashley, if he doesn't take the pin here, so Keith Lee can pin Riddle or vice versa. And I think that would be fine because I don't think Lashley should eat a pin, then go face Drew McIntyre. I don't think
Lashley should drop the U.S. title either.
Really? So, you think should they go title for title or just put Lashley's on the line or put Drew's on the line?
I think they should either title for title or have Lashley face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania like we all been wanting for years.
I would love that
Lesnar has never won the U.S. title. It would actually be a hottest feud than the WWE title itself.
I would actually really love that. Who do you think's winning this match? Do you think Lashley's going to win it?
I think Lashley should win it. He's been so protected. I'm surprised he wasn't in the Chamber. I get it. You know, former WWE champions is the storyline they win with. But I think he's the hottest thing. He hasn't eaten a pin in forever. And Drew McIntyre is over there crying and eating pins on the weekly. So keep Lashley strong. Yeah,
the only person that's beat him is Riddle, and it was by the shenanigans and all that. He has been consistently pushed and made to look strong, and he's doing awesome. I love what Lashley's doing these days.
He looks like $1 million right now, and it was about time that he finally got that push because he looks like a star. They just never booked him the right way.
We have the SmackDown #1 contender Elimination Chamber: Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, King Corbin, and Jey Uso. First off, I think this match is going to kick ass. I think this match is going to be incredible, and I'm very excited for it.
Matches are going to be very good, Sean. I think both are going to deliver.
And I think since they changed the chamber structure a few years ago, it's been a lot more wrestler friendly, and the matches have been way, way better. How do you see this one going? We've seen Kevin Owens face Roman Reigns like 732 times. I love him. I don't need to see it. It ain't going to be King Corbin. It is probably not going to be Sami Zayn. I'd be shocked if it were Cesaro, but I could see a Daniel Bryan or Jey Uso situation, especially as you mentioned earlier, Jey Uso could lay down or maybe doesn't lay down. But what do you think?
He better lay down. Listen, I would love to see Cesaro because I think Cesaro and Roman could deliver a really good match. I don't see this as the number one contender match. I see it as Roman Reigns' next victim match. And listen, I want either a squash match or a good match, right? So I'm talking Jey Uso or Cesaro and Daniel Bryan. Like you said, if I had to call it, I would say Cesaro. I feel like Cesaro has a little bit of momentum going his way on SmackDown.
I love that this is a top contender match because I'd voiced this on Twitter in the past. I don't like when Edge has to go through 29 people to get a title match. Then they're like, hey, 5 people, here you go, title match. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, does that mean the title shouldn't be defended? No, I didn't say that. But make them earn it. None of the people in the championship Elimination Chamber match earned it, except for Kofi. He's the only one.
It should have been Ali, first of all. It should have been Kofi against Ali for that spot in the chamber last night. I can't believe they missed on that opportunity. That being said, I think that they should make the Rumble winners pick who they're facing the next night, and then the chamber is left to number one contender for WrestleMania and get rid of Fastlane. I think that would be the best way to build it.
I just realized I haven't personally made my picks yet. I'm thinking Jey Uso wins. I think Roman Reigns beats him by either any way that he needs to. I think Asuka will retain her title against whoever she faces. I think Keith Lee or Riddle walk out with the U.S. Championship. I'm going to say Keith Lee if he faces him for it. But the championship Elimination Chamber, it drove me nuts. AJ Styles, white hot, should have been in that match. No problem with it. Kofi Kingston earned his way in, so no problem. Then you got Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Jeff Hardy. And by the time they were announced, each one of them had like one singles win since October. Like they weren't winning matches. And Randy Orton's like the one of those where you go, all right, he's Randy Orton. You're just including him. Sheamus,
if you don't, he'll burn you. Like he'll kill you. So you have to put him in.
Sheamus and Jeff Hardy don't quite have that type of level anymore. And they should have been heating up Sheamus for Drew McIntyre all along the way.
But they have been. They have been. He won that handicap match. I know it's the Miz and Morrison, but he has been from Raw. It's just the problem is that you're not building interesting storylines for anybody else. So the wins that he does get do not seem like Cesaro on SmackDown is winning against Daniel Bryan. That feels like a big deal. You have Sheamus winning the Miz. It doesn't matter.
He lost that handicap match, by the way. He beat John Morrison. Yes, he beat John Morrison.
I don't watch Raw, to quote Roman Reigns.
He lost that, and he lost to Keith Lee. And he lost to Keith Lee twice, including in a top contender match. He lost to AJ Styles. Like the match against John Morrison is the only singles match that Sheamus had won since I think November or October. So that
he pinned Drew McIntyre.
I know, but that was after they were like, here you go, you get a title match. And that should have been the reason for Shane or Adam Pearce. They're like, listen, he can be in this match, but he ain't going to be the only one because he hasn't been winning matches. Right. Let him win matches. But I don't see any way that Drew McIntyre doesn't win this match.
I mean, right? But who is he going to face at WrestleMania if Edge decides to commit suicide and pick Roman Reigns?
Oh, man. Well, I think Edge is going to pick Roman Reigns. I think that's the best possible match, and Roman Reigns is the story right now. To me, the WrestleMania headliners should be Bianca and Sasha, and then Roman Reigns and literally whoever he faces. Mm-hmm. If he faces Adam Pearce, it should be the main event of WrestleMania because Roman Reigns, everything he does has been incredible of late. Is there anything else that you're expecting to get added to this show? I mean, I would imagine something with Sasha Banks, maybe Carmella, but I don't. I mean, because she's still got that integration with Reginald and all that, but they've only announced 5 matches, I think, and 4 or one of them we know is not going to happen. We know Asuka and Lacey isn't going to happen.
I think they're gonna find a replacement for that Asuka and Lacey match. It could also be Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss did pin Asuka a couple of weeks ago, but she's so involved in this Fiend comeback and Randy Orton storyline.
Yeah.
I do think that Elimination Chamber is a great way to add to the storylines with Alexa Bliss and the Fiend and Randy Orton. Like I said, Kofi, Kingston, and Ali. There could be a lot of distractions. Ultimately, it's the last pay-per-view in the WWE network, so I wonder if they're going to treat it like a throwaway and just get it over with, or if they're really going to advance storylines.
You're right. I hadn't even thought about that. I mean, we're facing a new era, so to speak, with Peacock. Guys, please leave a thumbs up if you don't mind. They're setting up something with Braun and Shane McMahon, it looks like. I could think of worse things than watching Braun throw Shane McMahon off of things, but
okay. Listen, Shane McMahon delivers at WrestleMania, so I don't mind him get put. It's 2 nights, so we're gonna have the time to do it. But I like Shane McMahon. I can't hate.
Well, guys, we will be here on Sunday talking Elimination Chamber. We got Malcolm joining us. Make sure you guys check out his stuff on Twitter. He is at Malcolm Muscle. But Demon Diva, tell the people where they can find you, where they can follow you, how they can support you, how they can check you out.
At NYC Demon Diva on Twitter and Instagram and YouTube.
Go support her. She puts out some great stuff. I want to thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Guys, Elimination Chamber this Sunday. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. Until next time, we're out.
Adios.